Hi, I am Judith Coles, and I am so glad you're here with me. And I know that if you're like me, you want to start Bible journaling. And I did this in pencil, and probably are asking me or wondering why I have this other piece of paper glued on here. And it's because I did a journal another day on this other page, and because I used this pencil, it bled through. And I don't worry about that too much because sometimes I don't write on the other side and sometimes I do this. And now I want you to get a piece of paper and journal along with me with some journaling art. I've been doing this about 10 years and I still need to simplify. And that's what I've tried to do, where I have just written out part of the verse, not even the whole verse, and a small picture that's easy to do that you can do too. And I took it from Psalm 25. I read the whole psalm and I wrote out, you probably are seeing my cell phone, I don't know, but that's where I got my idea for these hearts. And I wrote out here, Psalm 25, 1 through 5, and it says, "To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in you. Let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Indeed, let no one who waits on you be ashamed. Let those be ashamed who deal treacherously without cause. Show me your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. On you I wait all the days." And over here, I wrote down the words from here that stood out to me. I lift up my soul and trust. I trust in you and wait. It says that no one who waits on you be ashamed. And then it's show me your ways, teach me your paths, lead me in your truth. And it says teach again, probably because we need to hear that twice. And wait. I wait all the day on you. Okay, here it says, let me not be ashamed. How often are you ashamed or sad and bothered and worried about things you did in the past? I don't do that as much now, but I'm sharing that with you because this verse reminded me of the days and years that I did that, because you have to get to a point where you have peace because you waited on the Lord, got into his word daily, until he can speak to your heart and change your heart. So I'll come back to this other verse later. Right now, you're gonna get a piece of paper, and it can be a big one. It can be from a notebook or paper like this, where you have the whole page, or I'm gonna do something on that afterwards. But first, I'm going to show you how you can do it in a small space in a journaling Bible. And that's such a good way to start, because you can do it in a small area where you're not having all this blank page that you have to drink. I'm thinking of drinking, so that you have to draw on. So get something, your coffee, tea. This is tea. Pause the video a minute so you can get it. And then let's do this. All right, I hope that this camera will show you, but you go and you do the F for the 4, and I'll show you later what I do, because I come back and do that. First, I get things done. And I first drew this with this drawing pencil. I grabbed that, literally. You can use a regular pencil. I just grabbed that because it was here. So for you are, and you know what? This is not some fancy font. I might get ideas, but basically I'm using my own handwriting. And if your handwriting isn't so good, or you think it's not so good, you're not so happy about it, use it anyway, because if you look at pictures of fonts, they are all different from each other. So this is that. And if you see things that I've done, some of my drawings in Jesus journaling, I do it in there or share them in there. or you see them on Pinterest, because I'll upload them to Pinterest, and you think they're beautiful, and you think, oh, I can't do that. We all start somewhere. And I started 10 years ago doing some pretty simple, not so good drawing and lettering and stuff that I did. So, for you are the God of my salvation. And we worship God as we do that. And we think and meditate on this verse as we write it down. And if you kind of go over the pencil mark and don't do it exactly on it, you can come back later, and when it's dried, the ink is dried, don't do it now. And you can, there you go. You can erase it, and it turns out just fine if you lightly erase it. So I wait all the day. I think about this as I'm doing this. I pray about it as I draw it. Now, if you pause the video, you can pause it and find a picture or copy mine. But first, I'm going to go back and thicken up some of my letters. You tend to thicken up the downstrokes. So I'm not thickening up all of it. So I did this part. I did this side of the O, and I'll do this side of the Y, this side of the O this time, and I almost ran out of room on this paper. That side of the U. These I don't do. And in God, I bring it down like that, and I fill it in. Sometimes I've done lines on the inside of it. I won't do that today because I'm just not. See that? That's all I do. This word I might just take on salvation and do a few because I might ruin it. I might ruin that S, I'm thinking, so I'm only going to thicken it a little bit. And sometimes when I thicken the letters, it works out really great because I might have made like a little unsteadiness in my hand. So it works out great. And sometimes people use a thicker pen, and other times they just do it like I'm doing it, where I'm thickening it. Either works. I find going back over works better for me because I'm not yet very, I can't control that pen that well. So that, here's a pen, and maybe I'll demonstrate it in the second part. You can see it. It's got a little square tip. I don't know whether I showed it so you can see it or not. Okay, I'm going to do the hearts over here. And I'm just going to go over my pencil markings before I color it in. Sometimes I'll color some of the words. You may have seen that in my things. And I really love to encourage people like you to actually do Bible journaling art, not just to look at what I do, but to join in and learn how to do it. So that is that. And so then I'm going to do Psalm. I try to write down the verse. I mean, this may not be always the whole verse. In this case, no, it's not, because the whole of verse 5, I wrote down 4 and 5, but the whole of verse 5 is, lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. On you I wait all the day. So that is not the whole verse, but I'll write down 1 or 2 main verses. And I try to remember, every once in a while I forget to put the verse down that I got it from, because I can look on the page and just not remember where it is. So if you wondered, because I'm sure you wondered, what I did these with, it's with these pens that I got from Hobby Lobby. In my Bible, I'll use gel pens that I also got from Hobby Lobby. And so that's what I do. And another verse that I have down, it was sort of like a cross-reference. It's, remember, O Lord, your tender mercies and your loving kindnesses, for they are from old. Do not remember the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to your mercy, remember me for your goodness' sake, O Lord. And I was thinking of when I wrote out the word loving kindness, that so often my 3 grandkids aren't that loving to each other. Their kindness is just not there yet. They're still young. And if we don't get control of that and learn the habits of being kind to each other when we're growing up, it's harder when we are an adult. And it is only really possible if we learn how to ask God to indwell us and to have his loving kindness come through us as we love others. So I grabbed yes, here it is right in front of me. I can't see it. You see how I outlined that? I outlined the verse that I'm focusing on in one of these from Hobby Lobby. Then, so it stands out, I take another color and I have the pencil on its side and I shade it in. And oops, I went out and I shaded it sideways so I can still read the verse. But it also helps the page to come alive. Then I take an eraser, because I went out over the lines, and just erase it. And that worked perfectly. And now I am going to find a red crayon or reddish crayon to color in the hearts. And I chose hearts because right now with this filming, what do you call it? Valentine's Day is on next week. So that I'm thinking of the loving kindness, like mentioned in the verse, that God has according to your mercy, remember me. Where did it say loving kindness? Remember, O Lord, your tender mercies and your loving kindness says. So I want to remember God's loving kindness. I want him to remember them because I want him to show his loving kindness to me. And then I'm going to grab a green because leaves are usually green. Maybe sometimes they're yellow. Actually, sometimes they're brown when they're dying for the season. And I just do these little things, stems and everything in green. Makes them look pretty and pop. And there you have it. And you have a lovely Bible journaling, and this lacy thing makes it look nice. And they come in a pack from Amazon like this. And they actually have other shades and colors. And this is cut, but there's a bigger piece. They're about that size. And I love them. And so there we have it. And I am going to get, my next page. And we are going to think of something else to do. Well, actually, I'm going to use a similar verse, okay? I'm going to write out, remember your loving kindness, okay? So that I'm going to show you another way of Bible journaling, or how to do a journal. If you're doing it on a bigger page and you either don't feel that you're artistic, or you're pressed for time, which I am a lot, because my grandkids come over about every day during the week. Okay, so remember, O Lord, and I'll show you a great way to make it pretty. when you're done. You're tender. And I don't want to put mercy there. I don't want it to be squished, I think. I want to concentrate on mercy. Okay, I am going to do my thing here. Do you see how I'm doing it? I'm leaving extra space, and this takes practice. You might want to try doing this on scratch paper for a while so that you catch on to it. I started doing this fairly soon after I started Bible journaling. And just so you don't think I was an artist to start off with, I was not, and still not. I hadn't drawn since I was in grade school. So you can imagine that means that I'm not a very good artist, just a wannabe artist, and still am. I see better art, but that's the joy of Bible journaling, that you don't have to really be that good at drawing. And I'm going to do loving kindness, not too many to color in. So I'll do it just bigger. I love the word loving kindness. I love that everything is wrapped up in the one word, loving and kindness. It just seems to have a lot of possibilities of how you could act towards somebody. Now, hopefully, I'll get on. I did. I got in the whole word. And doesn't it make you kind of ponder when it says that, remember, Lord, that's why I need to read it again, your tender mercies and your loving kindnesses, for they are of old. That really interested me because I think I'll put from here. David it's a Psalm of David. He was writing this way back, right? It was what we would call back in the old days, and yet he was saying that these things were of old. Okay, now here's where the fun comes in. Besides that, you can color this in. Maybe we'll do that first. I'm going to do it in turquoise. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to color these in. I hope you're coloring with me. Sometimes it's nice to know someone's doing something with you. And if you're kind of feeling stressed or depressed or anything like that, it's nice to know somebody else is with you, listening to you. You can share whatever your struggles are, prayer requests, whatever, in the comments, and I will see them and pray for you. And I just want you to know I've gone through really, really bad struggles, ones that really are so bad that I can't talk about them and share them. I wouldn't share them publicly. But the thing about that is that if I told you what they were and described all the gory details and all that kind of stuff, that would not encourage you where you're at and what you're going through. And in doing that, it gives me, people do that, gives me the feeling that they've gone through something similar to me and they understand and that they're listening, not just talking about themselves. And that is really, really important. So I'm thinking about God's tender mercies. I don't even deserve all the things that God has given me and done for me. Even if he hadn't done so many nice, wonderful things for me, you know what? He still has mercy because we can go through so much worse. Somebody was bitterly telling me about their troubles this week. And they said that, one of the problems was with a child, and told me that they hadn't done anything to deserve that. I didn't correct that person because that's not my place. and I didn't feel that would have been right in the moment. I don't know. What would you think? What would you do? But none of us deserve anything from God. Everything He's done for us is because of His mercies and His loving kindness to us. And so when we go through something hard, it's not that God's trying to do things to us because of past sins that we have, but He has mercy to help us through it and to just guide us. And that's what these verses help me to see, that even though David in this psalm had gone through some things that were difficult, and he's talking about, if you read the first few verses, he's gone through some hard things. But God meets him there with His mercies, His tender mercies, and His loving kindness. And there we go. I'm going to highlight out tender. Do you get the hang of what I'm doing here? Maybe you can't see every minute because my hand, I think, covers it. I liked watching somebody last week who was demonstrating, I think on a short, she was advertising something, and she was using her left hand because she was left-handed. So it made it possible to be out of the way of her, of the camera. And I thought that was kind of cool. Now, you can go to the description and you can see one of my blog posts, and you can get resources, and you can get the current Bible reading plan, which is one that I'm doing that is about studying the Bible. And the whole purpose is with the workbook that I have, which has all sorts of things and ideas with how to Bible journal, is that it has in there quite a lot of ideas. One of the things I'm doing is demonstrating ways that Bible journal. Okay, look at this. This is what you can do around what you just did. And any way you're doing this, even if it's uneven, it doesn't matter. I don't know if mine will come out even or not, especially because I'm doing this as a video and I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I'm not going to edit it very much either. Okay, that's one. And then if I can find where I put the brown, it's right here. I'm going to go do this again and go in and out and just help it to kind of come alive a little bit. And here we go, back to the beginning. And I need the Psalm. And it's from Psalm 25. Psalm 25. And it's from verse 6, the whole 6. There you go. And there you have it. That's a wonderful, easy way to Bible journal that you can do. And if you want, you can get this whole workbook. The link is below. It's called How to Bible Journal, and it's a grace-filled invitation to meet with Jesus, because as you do this, you invite Him. Get something to drink, have your notebook. And Bible journaling isn't only drawing, it's also doing the journals. And all this information is in it that you can read about how to journal and get ideas and tips and all sorts of things. And then the best of all is the Bible reading plan, which I'm down to day 8. That's what I just did with you, was day 8. And then there's more of goodness in this book. And here are each day I do one. I fill this out. These are the journaling pages. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. I started the next week. And here we go. And there you have it. And this is what the blank pages look like. And at the back are some pages to color. There's one. There's another one. If you can see that, a Prayer Warrior page that I yet have to fill out. And a planner. And some more stuff there. And so you can get this, you can get the Bible reading plan for free, or you can upgrade to How to Bible Journal and get this whole 50+ page journaling workbook. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so glad you were here and we could just journal together.